Mega menus are great when you have a lot of content on your website and you want to make it easy for your visitors to browse through your content. So today I'm going to show you how to create mega menus with the power of Elementor Pro and JetMenu from Crocoblock. So how do we do that?
Let's find out.
Hello, I'm your host Casino. I'm a digital alchemist, and today I'm going to teach you how to create a mega menu with Elementor Pro as well as JetMenu from Crocoblock. Now, Elementor Pro is the premium add-on to the free Elementor page builder, and Crocoblock is a suite of plugins made specifically for Elementor. These are two premium plugins that I strongly recommend because they make my life easier and actually bring in a lot of fun back into creating websites, helping me spend more time creating and less time fiddling around. If you're interested in purchasing either of these, as usual, you'll find the affiliate links in the description of this episode. So, enough talking.
Let's dive in.
Okay, so this is what we are going to build today, and if you look at the custom navigation, if we hover over the second item, you can see the mega menu that we're going to build today. So let's go into the WordPress admin. Now, the first thing we want to do is to install the Jet Theme Core plugin from Crocoblock. And for that, you need to go to Plugin. And as you can see, I've already installed Jet Theme Core. So all I need to do left is to activate it. And if you don't know how to activate a plugin, it's pretty easy. All you need to do is either type the name of the plugin right here in the search box if the plugin is in the repository of WordPress, but in our case, it's a premium plugin. So you would click on Upload Plugin, and then you would upload the plugin that you've downloaded from Crocoblock. So I've already done that. And if we check now, my plugin is activated. So all we need to do now is select which plugins we want to add. There are a lot of plugins of add-ons from Crocoblock, so I do not recommend installing everything, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Now, the good news is that even though you install a lot of add-ons from Crocoblock, you can activate which widget you want and don't want to optimize your WordPress install. But right now, we're just going to install JetMenu. So click on Install. It's going to take a few seconds. And once we've installed it, the first thing we're going to do is to create a menu. So JetMenu is installed. I'm just going to activate it. Okay, and now we want to create a menu for our website. So for that, go to Appearance, Menus. Okay, and now we want to give our menu a name. So we're going to call it Main Menu. So give it a name, then click on Create Menu. Okay, and we want to make sure that this is our primary menu. So I'm just going to take the option primary menu here, and I'm going to save once more. Okay, and now we want to add pages to our menu. So I've already created a few pages, but we actually only need one for this tutorial. So I'm just going to select all the pages that I've created. Don't pay attention to the names. It's just, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to organize it like in the demo. But before I forget, we also need to enable JetMenu for the current location. So I'm just going to enable it here and click on Save. And just to be on the safe side, I'm going to save the menu once again. Okay, that's done. So next we want to move to Templates, Theme Builder, and we're going to create our header for our website. So I'm just going to go to the header tab, and then I'm going to click on Add New Header, and I'm going to call it Tutorial Header. Then I click on Create Template. Okay, so now I can either start one from scratch, or I can choose one of the templates here. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to choose that one. So click on Insert. And it's going to load the assets, and then I can start playing around with JetMenu and the different options that we have. Okay, so right now we have our menu, and it's actually loading the navigation element from Elementor. So first I'm going to just change the style. So I'm going to select my section here, or I could do that in the navigator. And the first thing I want to do, and that's personal preference, I'm going to remove the box shadow. So for that, once my section is selected, I go to the Style tab, then border, and right next to the box shadow here, there's a little icon. And if you hover over it, it says back to default. So I'm just going to reset the style. And as you can see, our box shadow has disappeared. So the next thing I want to do, still in the section settings on the layout tab, I want my content width to be full width. Okay. And I'm going to align the logo. So I click on the edit icon. I'm going to align it to the left. And I'm just going to make sure that, yeah, for the navigation, it's aligned to the right. But actually, I don't want this navigation. And that's why we created we enabled JetMenu for that location first. So I'm just going to remove the navigation here. And then I'm going to search for the Jet elements. And I'm going to drag the mega menu widgets in the right column. Okay, and also I'm going to change the proportions of the column because we don't need that much for the logo. So I'm just going to make it 15% for the logo and 85% for the navigation. So let me select the navigation we've just added. And here you need to select a menu. We've only created one so far, so select the main menu. Okay, and now in the style tab, I'm just going to make sure that it's on the right hand side. So that looks good, but actually you want some padding on the left side of our logo. So I'm just going to click on the column, then click on advanced. Then I'm going to unlink the values for padding, and I'm going to give it a 30 pixels left padding. So that looks better. Once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to publish. So click on publish, and we need to add a condition. So we're going to include our header on the entire website. So save and close. And right now it's updated. So let's go and have a look at what we've built so far. So this is what we've got so far. So it's working fine, but it's not that sexy. So we're going to fix that. So let's go back to the WordPress admin and then click on JetMenu. And we're going to edit some settings to make it look just like in the demo. So it's loading, and okay. So in the general tab, we're going to change a few things. So first of all, we're going to change the mobile breakpoint to 812. And if you wonder why I picked that specific number, so let's go back to the front end, and I'm just going to load the page as a mobile with the Chrome Inspector tools. And if I look at the iPhone 10 or iPhone X, however you want to call it, the width is 812. And that's why I picked this item here. Actually, I could even choose 813 just to be on the safe side. So that's the first thing we want to do, and I'm going to save it. And actually, before I move to the second tab, you may want to disable the cache menu CSS, because if you don't, all the changes that you're going to do, you're going to have some trouble seeing the changes actually. So it's way better to disable that while you're working on the navigation, especially for the styling. And then once you're happy with the styling and you're not going to touch the styling, then you can re-enable the cache. Okay, so we're pretty much done for this tab, but actually we'll come back to it later and you'll understand why. Okay, so now let's move to our main menu styles tab. And what we want to do here is to actually style the navigation elements for the default, hover, and active states. So the first thing we want to do is change the item text color. So I'm just going to click here and select the black color. Then I want to enable the item background, and I'm going to select a color for the background. So I'm just going to select a light gray. Yeah, that seems about right. So I'm just going to copy that one. So we're pretty much set for the colors on the active states. Also, I want to add some padding because I don't want the text to be close to the edges, because basically I'm creating blocks for the navigation, and I want some padding, some room around the text. So I'm just going to give it a 30 pixels padding for the top, right, bottom, and left values. And the last thing I want to do is I want to add a border. So I'm just going to enable item border. I'm going to pick a solid border, but I don't want a border all around the each navigation element. I just want to use a right-hand side border. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to unlink the item border width, and I'm just going to select a 1 pixel right border. Now for the item border color, I'm just going to pick a slightly darker gray than I use for the elements, and if it doesn't look good enough, I'm just going to change it. So it's about right for the default state. So I'm just going to save that to make sure that I don't lose my work. Okay, and now I can go back up and style the hover and active states. So for the hover state, I'm actually going to reverse the colors that I use for the default state. So the item text color is going to be a light gray. Okay, and the item background color, so first I'm going to enable it, and then I'm going to pick black. Okay, now for the active states, it's exactly the same thing. Actually, you can have a slightly different color if you wish, but I'm just going to pick the same one. Then I'm going to enable my item background color, and I'm going to select black. Okay, so once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to save it. And now let's go and have a look at how it looks on the front end. So this is how it looks on the front end. It's looking pretty good, just like the demo. So when you hover over the elements, they just change the colors as we've selected in the settings. Okay, so now we're back in WordPress admin, and the next thing we want to do is to create some extra menus. So for that, go to appearance, then click on menus. Okay, and we're going to create a new menu. So click on create a new menu, and we're just going to call it my new menu. Not very original, I know, but you'd understand why I'm doing that. So just create the menu, and we don't have enough pages actually, so I'm just going to create some custom links, and I'm going to speed that up. Okay, so we're done with creating the new menu. Always make sure you save your menu once you're done. Okay, and once this is done, we're going to go back to our main menu, click on select, and now you can hover over any item. So I'm going to pick the second item, and when you hover over the any item, you see the JetMenu option. So I'm just going to click on JetMenu, and I want to enable the mega submenu. So click enable. So first of all, I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to click on edit mega menu item content. Okay, so now I have full freedom to create my mega menu. So what I'm going to do is to create a I could create a 4-column structure, but right off the bat, I'm just going to create a 1 column, and then we'll duplicate some columns. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your section is selected. So either click on the edit selection icon here, or in the navigator, click on the section you want to style. Now on the first tab, which is the layout tab, I'm going to start styling this section. So first of all, I'm going to make it full width. Then the height, I want to give it a minimum height of 70% of the height of the window. So that looks good. Next, I'm going to move to the style tab, and I want to change the background type. I want a classic background type, and I'm going to select the black color. Now, of course, you may style it the way you prefer, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to pick a random color. So I'm going to pick a black color. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to add some navigation. So I'm just going to search for nav, and then I'm going to use the Elementor Pro Nav Menu widget. So I'm just going to drag it to my column. And first of all, I'm going to make sure it's the actually the new menu that I just created in the previous step. So you select that in the first drop down. And next, I want to make sure that it's a drop down navigation, because that's the way I want to present it in a vertical menu. And as you can see here, it shows a nav icon, and I don't want that. So I'm going to select none, and I want my text to be centered. So that looks better, but now let's style it further. So go to the Style tab, and I want to actually remove the background color. So I just dragged actually the opacity right here, and I'm going to change the text color to white. So that looks much better. But now in my opinion, it's way too small. So I'm just going to edit the typography option, and I'm going to increase the size, the text size. Okay, so that looks better. Okay, and now I want to change the hover states. As you can see, when I hover over the elements, there's a background color. I don't like that color, so I'm just going to select white, and of course I don't want white on white, so the text color is going to be black. Much better. And let's do the same thing for the active color, white background, and the text is in black. Okay, so once I'm happy with that, I can just right click on the column settings and click on duplicate, or I can just use Command D, or I believe Control D on a desktop PC. So now I have 5 columns, and actually I'm going to get rid of the first navigation element, and I'm going to add a heading. I'm going to call it my mega menu. Okay, so let's style this. Let's make it white, or actually let's make it gray. And then you can add pretty much anything you want. So for example, let's add an image right underneath the title. And let's choose an image from our library. And I'm going to pick that one here. So because it's a mega menu, we don't want to load it the full size of the image. So I'm just going to select medium large so that it's lighter and it's better to optimize your website. Okay, so the next thing we can do is actually center our heading. So I'm just going to do that. And if you wanted, you could add, yeah, as I said, anything you want. You could add a button right here. So I'm not going to do that right now, but you get the idea. The next thing you can do is actually give some kind of border to the columns. So for that, let me select the first column, then go to Style, Border. I'm going to select a solid border, and just like we did for the first level navigation item for JetMenu, it's the same process here. So I'm just going to select solid, then I'm going to unlink the values because I don't want a border all around each column. I just want the right hand side to have a border, and I'm going to select a 1 pixel border, and then I'm going to select a dark gray, but that should be lighter than the black background. Okay, and once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to copy, and then I'm going to right click on the next column and paste style. Let's do the same for the next columns, paste style, and same thing for this one. And as previously, I don't want a right border for the last column. Okay, so that looks good. Let me update that. Okay, and now let's go have a look on the front end. Okay, so we're back on the front end of our website. I've refreshed the page, and now when you hover over the color background, as you can see, we have our mega menu. So as you can see, sky is the limit. You can put any number of custom menus. Now, of course, don't put too much, because the reason why you want a mega menu is if you have a lot of content, you really want to organize it neatly, and you want people that visit your website to easily browse your website. So you don't want to overwhelm them with too much information, but you get the idea. You can style the menus the way you want. Now in this tutorial, I've only created one custom menu. That's the one we created that I call my new menu with page 1 up to 5, but you get the idea. You could create 4 different custom menus, and that's where you add it actually. Now, as you can see, the mega menu doesn't take the full width of the screen. Now, you may be okay with that, but personally, I don't like it too much like that. So we're going to fix that. So for that, let's go back to WordPress admin. So back in WordPress, you want to go to JetMenu. Okay, and on the first tab, we're looking at the mega menu base width, and we're going to change the option to width, same as custom CSS selector width. So I'm just going to type Elementor inner. Okay, click save. So that's all you have to type, Elementor inner. Okay, and now let's go back to the front end. Let's refresh our page. And now if I hover over on the color background, and if you remember, that's the item that for which we enabled the JetMenu mega menu. Now you can see it's full width, except that part here on the right hand side, but we're going to fix that in a moment. Yeah, you can't really see here because there's the sidebar. Yeah, now you can see it. And I want to fix that also. But first of all, you may be wondering, how do I know I had to use the class Elementor -inner? Well, first of all, if you're not used to CSS, it stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and basically it's the way to code the styles that usually you find in options. But for some reason, I couldn't find that option in JetMenu, so I had to use the one of the class, and that's what they provided the option for. So let me go back. So it's .elementor-inner. So basically that's CSS class, which actually allows to style different sections, different parts of the website. So basically what this option does is that it's telling JetMenu that the width should be the same as that element. So once again, how did I find that element specifically? If you're curious, let me go back, and I'm just going to right click on the header, click on inspect. Okay. And basically when you're in the Chrome Inspector tools, if you hover over different elements of the code, you can see it's highlighted right here on the left pane. Okay. So basically what I did, I was looking for an element that was full width, that was spanning the full width of the window. So I found this one here, element inner, and all I did was to copy that element, and then I pasted it here. And make sure you put a dot just before the class name, because the dot stands for class. Now, this tutorial is not about giving you a full CSS course, and many of you already know this thing, so I won't go deeper into this, but for the moment, just know that this is the way I found that class, and all you need to do to have the mega menu full width is to use the same process. Now, as I said, there's an issue because, let me close that. There's actually some space on the right hand side, and I don't like that. So I couldn't find it in the option. If you find it by any means, just let me know in the comments. But I found a way to change that with CSS, and I'm going to show you how. So back in WordPress, go to Appearance, Customize. And once you're in the customizer, go to additional CSS. Now, don't be scared by that code. If you're a non-coder, this is previous code, so don't look at that. But basically, you need to add this code, this little chunk right here. And don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to code it. You can find the actual code in the companion blog post of this video, and you will find the link in the description of this episode. So all you have to do is open the description of this video, click on the link to go to the companion blog post on my website, and you'll find the code that you can copy, or you can copy it here on screen. So basically, it's telling that I want to give a max width of 120%, to the JetSub Mega Menu class. Now, I had to really play with the Chrome inspector to get that to work. So I'm just going to publish. And once again, if you're not comfortable with CSS, I'm not expecting you to fully understand it right now, and there's no problem with that. All you need to do is copy that code. Now, if I can give you a piece of advice, CSS is actually a lot of fun. So don't be scared to learn CSS, but I'm not going to ask you to learn CSS today. Okay, so let's go back to the front end. Let's refresh our page. Okay, and now let's hover over our element. And as you can see, we have a full width mega menu. We have no space on the right-hand side, no space on the left-hand side, and it's completely full width. And that's the way I like it, but you may like it differently. So of course, this is really basic mega menu. I just wanted to show you how to do it, but now sky is the limit. You can just let your creativity flow and really style the mega menu the way you want it. And what you would also want to do is to style the mobile version. So if I go into mobile mode, you can see right off the bat, it's pretty nice. But when it comes to the mega menu, I wouldn't really want it like that, because it's way too long. So I would style it differently. I would change the font sizes. I would really make sure that it's a really native way of presenting things on the mobile and not just a poor version from the desktop, because as you know it, most internet traffic today is on the mobile. But you get the idea. The same way that you style elements for the smartphone, usually you can style it because it's in Elementor. If you already know Elementor, there's no learning curve. And that's what I love about this combo of Elementor Pro and JetMenu. Now, of course, there are also some options in JetMenu specifically for the mobile. And if we go back to the WordPress admin, let's go to JetMenu. And as you can see, we have a mobile menu tab, so you can tweak the styling even further. I hope that you're pretty confident now and that you know how to create a mega menu with Elementor Pro and JetMenu. If you have any other process or any other way that you'd like to use this combo, just let me know in the comments. There is also another way to create a mega menu with Astro Pro. And that would probably be for another tutorial, but I really wanted to emphasize on the combo of Elementor Pro and JetMenu. Now, at the time of recording this video, there aren't that many options if you want to create a mega menu natively for Elementor. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And who knows, by the time you watch this video, maybe there will be some other options, and maybe I've released other tutorials about it. But this is a pretty solid one. I really like all the options that I have with JetMenu. I think it's a nice plugin. Now, it's not perfect, but nothing is perfect in this world. And you know, when you don't find the options, that's why I said that learning CSS is quite interesting, actually quite fun. Well, it depends. Everyone has a different definition of fun, but personally, I really enjoyed it. So now you know how to create a mega menu with Elementor Pro and JetMenu. Now, if you're interested in purchasing JetMenu and Elementor Pro, you will find the links in the description of this video. Now, to be crystal clear, these links are affiliate links, which means that I do get a commission if you purchase the license after clicking on one of my links. But one, I only recommend Elementor Pro and JetMenu because I use and love these products. And two, commissions actually help me support this channel and create free content. So I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you now feel confident to create your own mega menu with the help of JetMenu and Elementor Pro. Please let me know in the comments of this episode, and by the way, you find the companion blog post on my website Casino.com. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like it as it really helps growing this channel, and if you know someone that could benefit from it, please share it now. If you're not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Now, if you want to brand, market, and grow your business in the digital age, then make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter so that you never miss a share of digital alchemy, as well as tips, tools, services, and case studies that can help you grow your business online. So that's it for this episode. I hope to see you around, and in the meantime, don't forget to invest
in your success.